It's new.
Lots new.
Google. I don't know. There was some type of entertainment yesterday I heard you guys watched, and I was trying to understand what that entertainment was, and I couldn't figure it out. But people definitely informed me on the X universe, so you enjoyed it.
My kids were watching it with me. They're like they were entertained.
Good. Yeah, it's Luke Daddy, Mark Rebulay. I thought it was funny when he fell on the coffee.
Have you seen him live outside of Google I/O?
I've not seen him live, but I watched a bunch of stuff when he live streamed, like through the pandemic.
I do know Lily Ray was impressed, and she's the only DJ I know in real life. So, on that note, we have a lot to discuss. We're going to talk about the Google AI overviews. We're going to talk about the new AI search features that are rolling out in the future. We're going to talk about a web search filter, and maybe some other things. So, let's get to it. All right, so Google had their I/O event yesterday, and Google did launch, as the rumors suspected, AI overviews in the US search results. It's rolling out now. You might not see it right now, but it's rolling out to some people, and you'll see it fully if you are in the US in the coming days. Like I said, it's now called AI overviews. Google told me that it's no longer going to be called SGE, or Search Engine Experience, which is good, in my opinion. And I wrote a really long article on Search Engine Land, the Search Engine Roundtable, going through a lot of details after speaking with Google about this in detail, including what they are, how often they show up, the click-through rates, Google Search Console reporting, how to opt out maybe, our feature snippets going to be there, ads, and a lot more. I guess I can quickly summarize all these types of things. So Google kind of said that the click-through rate on and the clicks that publishers are going to get are significantly more like you would expect from feature snippets. I was like, what? Can you repeat that? They're like, yeah, people are going to get more clicks from these than they would from a normal web search result link. I'm like, really? You promise? It's like, yes, that's happening. I'm like, could you show us that in Google Search Console? Like, give us that reporting breakdown? No, we cannot show that to you. We're not going to break it out because we don't want to show it to you. I'm like, why? Because we're not going to do it. We're going to show you an aggregate. We're going to show you all your clicks, all your impressions in Google Search Console like we do right now. That will include AI overviews, but we're not going to give you a little filter to say, just show me the AI overviews. What if we don't like them? What if we want to see what if we see that certain types of AI overviews are wrong and we don't want to be represented in them? Can we opt out of them? Not really, no. You can opt out of all web search, but you can't opt out of just AI overviews. You can just use the normal meta tags and snippet controls that we have for you, and you can't opt out. And then there's a whole other things around that. But there's a lot to go through. I'm not going to go through all of it. I know most of you guys have seen the announcement and saw the news, so I'm not sure who wants to jump in first about any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean,
you can go first.
There's no way there's more clicks on AI overviews in RAP SGE, I guess. There is no chance that's a truth. Am I nuts? I cannot stand trying to figure out what type of information came from where. The way that it is listed with those groupings, you can't tell where the information is actually derived from.
Yeah, I was shocked when she told me that there's more clicks. I had to repeat it twice, and then I repeated it and say, is this correct to say? And she said, yes. And I'm like, oh, good. So you can show us in Search Console? No, we can't. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, I don't know. I'm usually very cynical about these things, but I don't think they're lying. I don't think they lie to your face, Barry. But also, wasn't there a thing with Microsoft Copilot where they also showed some sort of data saying that the clicks were higher? Jean-Luc, if
no, they didn't say the clicks were higher. They said overall publishers will get more clicks because we're showing more links than we were previously. So Google's because you're having the snippet there, it's also might be in the web search results. There's two opportunities to get a click, so we're showing it more often, and you'll probably get a net gain of more clicks. But the click-through rate, I would think, would be way lower in overview than it would be in a web search result. But they're telling me no, the click-through rate is actually higher. That specific thing, impressions.
That's hard. That's hard to see.
Yeah, and they won't show it does in Google Search Console, which is, I mean, because back in 2016, I think, they showed us a featured snippet filter, and I had a screenshot from somebody's demo of it, and they did not release it. Why? Why not release it if it's built? Because they don't want to show us something, in my opinion.
Oh, because the paragraph feature snippets don't get the same click-through rate as the list feature snippets. That's
100%. 100%. I mean, we have brains. We can see. Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, that number is wild.
And then a bunch of SEOs are like, I want to opt out of it. How do I opt out of it? And like, well, you can't opt out of just AI overviews. You can opt out of all search. And when Google came out with this Google extended meta control, that's only for Gemini specific stuff outside of search. And since AI overviews, formerly search general experience, is a search feature, you can only opt out of it out of all search, including images, web, discover, and AI overviews using different snippet controls. There's a lot of confusion around how to opt out, or if you opt out, is it just not showing your card in the snippet itself in the AI overview, or is it not using your content at all? And I guess it depends on the type of controls you use, I think, and that's the confusion. Like sometimes Google have to index the content in order to say, I don't want to show us title snippet or this much content, like the max preview stuff. So there's a lot of confusion around that, and I think SEOs are like, they want it both ways. They don't want Google to use their content for the AI overviews, but they want to show up in the AI overviews links as clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a little like I get like the sentiment that I want to opt out. It's not fair kind of thing. But in the end of the day, somebody else will be there. SGE or the AI experience overview isn't going away.
Yeah, I mean, the only real valid, like this is going to be search, right? Like I think everybody knows that, right? And I love the idea of AI overviews. I just hate the execution of this. I feel like somebody that created this didn't think about that part of their mission statement that we talked about last week about making the web accessible, right? It seems like the to me, at least from a UI standpoint, it's keeping people on Google by not linking from a direct portion like you see with something like Perplexity or with ChatGPT now, but this is search. This will be search. People know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, Google's definitely like saying the line. Publishers are important. The ecosystem's important. They keep saying it over and over again. I think these AI overviews will adapt. When SGE first launched, it was like really big in your face. Then we came out with this light version of SGE, which became AI overviews. And if it's like you have to click to expand it, they're kind of like feature snippets. And I'm wondering how, I mean, there'll be lots of third-party data tools tracking to see the clicks and so forth. What's interesting is also it's showing up a lot less often. There were 2 studies done recently the past week or days that show that SGE or AI overviews are showing up like they used to show up for like 60-70% of all queries, and now they're showing up for like some said 5% to 25% of all queries. And that, like, I'm like, why? So I went to I asked the Google exec, when are you showing them? Well, only when we can provide additional value above what's in the actual web search results. And I'm like, is it about ads? Like, do you not want to show it when ads might show up because we want people to click on ads? Like, nothing to do with ads. It's about adding value. I'm like, okay.
But you see people sharing all the time. Christine Schackinger was sharing a clip of a AI overview about a very broad query about kidney stones. Like, I don't see that as just for complicated queries. They're showing it for Y and YL stuff. They're showing it for everything. I do think though, I feel like what maybe adds to the confusion, at least for me, is that I think there's 2 narratives at the same time. One narrative is, okay, we understand how users actually want to use this and what the ecosystem actually demands, but also for the stock price, we need to make it seem like this is going to be everywhere. So when you watched I.O., it made it seem like a little promo video, this is showing up everywhere. And then which is good for the stock price. But then they're telling you, oh no, it's only for complex queries in this way. I feel there's 2 narratives that are kind of not being separated out, but it makes it very confusing to figure out what's what.
Yeah, and that's why we have these third-party studies that show how often they show up and not, because Google won't give me. I'm like, give me the number. What percentage of queries? We cannot share that with you. I'm like, you know the number? We cannot share it with you. Of course, they know the number of queries that are going to, like, percentage-wise, 20%, 5%, 100%. They know, and they're going to tweak that, but they don't want to share it because Wall Street, like you said.
Yeah, by the way, at the same time, you see the competing narratives because they didn't just announce the SGE. They also announced, I don't want to get ahead of you here, but they also announced the custom AI formats on the SERP, which are more about exploration than it is about anything else, than it is about a direct answer. So you see them investing in the exploration side.
Yeah. So let's get into that. So Google also announced a bunch of AI search features, adjusting the AI overviews by having either the normal AI overview, or giving you a simpler version that you can like dumb it down to for somebody like Morty, or something break it down for somebody more advanced like Greg.
Thank
So
you.
it's pretty cool that they're testing this. This is actually going to be an opt-in Search Labs feature in the future. There's also this multi-step reasoning feature thing that gives you like takes you through the whole process of like whatever, and that's also an opt-in Search Labs feature. Then there's the ability to plan your events, like if you want to plan going to a restaurant or going to a certain location, you can actually swap things out, export it to Google. This is like stuff we've seen anyway beforehand with Gemini or Bard. And then the AI, that can also be a labs feature. But then this AI organized search results page, which you saw back in, I think, 2007, Google categorizing search results by category, obviously. But now they're using AI to do that in a cool way. And that's not going to be an opt-in thing. That's going to be something that Google launches in search in the future, in like the next several months. And then this really cool feature, lens to search with video, which was like not what they showed yesterday in that tease. Like we talked about that ChatGPT OpenAI thing, that they showed something different with that, with even Google Glasses, bringing them back, where you actually like talk through and say, have a conversation like you did with that. And that was kind of mind blowing. I think they did a pretty good job there. Those are a lot of the AI features there, and there's a lot to consume there. So I'm not sure if you want to point anything out, Greg, on any of that.
No, again, I would assume that when we're talking next year at this time, there's going to be AI, whatever they're called now, overviews for nearly everything, and that it seems like it's the future of search, right? You have algorithms, and now you have AI that is going to be there, and it's just wild to me that people are trying to opt out of that and still call themselves an SEO. Like if you're getting advice to that from your SEO, you need to find somebody new. A. B, I like the fact that they're making it, giving people the options to use it, because I think sometimes you just want more stuff. But great, love it. And I love the idea of AI overviews. I think it's phenomenal. I just wish that they thought about the user more and got people out. And when you see something interesting, it is insanely hard to figure out what source that came from, and it is. If it were me, I would use AI overviews for everything, but I can't because it's like such a bad user experience.
I do think it changes, though. I do think you do see something like what they're doing with the SERP overall, that AI custom overview that lets you dive in a little bit deeper. Because look, in the example that Christine was sharing about the kidney stones thing, if you actually have a kidney stone problem, the AI overview is great. I do think it's basically Google saying, hey, all of you Mayo Clinics, Harvard Health, you all wrote the same content 500 times over. So why don't we just take the best parts of all your content and put it all together? Because that's actually much better.
Hard disagree to that.
Hard disagree. That makes sense.
If I have a kidney stone and I go to a machine and a machine tells me what to do, I'm sorry, I want to verify that. And if you have
wait, let me finish my point.
No, you're done.
I think it organizes the information really well. But what I was going to say before Gallant over here interrupted me, but now you're Goofus and I'm Gallant. If I had an actual kidney stone problem, there's a section about eating, not eating protein to prevent kidney stones. I need to dive deeper into. I want to dive deeper into that because I have a real problem. I need more information.
Right. Which problem is citations stink.
Right. So I'm agreeing with you. See?
Okay.
No, but the problem is you guys are digging deeper, but the younger generation, sadly, the vast majority of them are going to drink that urine, and they're not going to care.
Watch, we'll see the percentage of people with kidney stones rises by like 700%.
And that's why Google released it, because people are lazy, and it's just making us lazier, and it's fine. Google has to adapt to the younger searchers, and I think it's just the way it is. I don't know.
That's my question, though. Like, okay, the trip planning thing, which I'm getting ahead of maybe a little bit. If I was spending a day in Philly, I would say, fine, organize my day for me, whatever. If I'm dropping 25 grand to fly my family halfway around the world, like hell, I'm leaving my itinerary to an AI planner. But maybe people are that dumb and they are doing that.
Honestly, when it comes to certain things like planning trips, I would leave it to AI to plan it for me because it would probably do a better job than me because I don't know anything about it.
You wouldn't even go on the trip.
No, I mean, I think it's interesting. Like, there's a ton of use cases for that, right? Like, you don't know the place. It's going to be probably better than going through and using traditional search. Like, if you can then see like who is the person telling you what to do, and you might look at this person and be like, wow, this person's way more bougie than me. I would probably hate this, right? But if you see somebody that's like an average basic guy, I might be, okay, this I can resonate with this, and this is some good advice. But that's just the thing that's missing to me.
I think they'll improve that. I hope. Who knows? We'll see. And I do agree with you on SEOs need to like stop. I mean, it's funny. I was having a conversation with somebody about this like this morning, and I'm like, I'm sorry, AI overview, they're not going away. AI is the future, so you got to figure it out. I mean,
this is search. This is what search is and will be. Like, what are people talking about?
It does mean that that top level content focus maybe isn't as profitable as it used to be. Hasn't been for a while, I don't think, but certainly not now.
Yeah. But at least there'll be ads above it and on below it and all around it. So
oh, thank God.
That's what I'm most sad for. Yeah. I'm like depressed about this. Like, and none of you guys even care, because I'm an ad guy. Well, I don't know how this is gonna work. I still don't see.
You'll find out soon. Google Marketing Live coming up in a couple weeks. I'm sure they're gonna explain everything.
I mean, the only thing that's gonna make sense for anybody that cares about PPC is prices are going up. I mean, prices are going to be going up. That's the only thing I can put to this. Their prices are going to be skyrocketing. That's why they're on smart bidding. That's why you don't have bids anymore. Everybody's spending more.
Right. But if you do want to go back to the pre-2007 results, we could just go ahead and get pre-universal search. You're around for that, Greg, right?
Yeah.
Universal search. Yeah. So now we have this web filter. We can actually search only the text links. You get rid of all the videos, AI results, Reddit, and everything, images, and just have core 10 blue links in the search results. And you go back to like it was 2006 and have a really great day.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
And Danny's like, I'm fighting for this. I've been working on this for a while, and we have it. And trust me, nobody's going to use it.
I was just going to say
go
that.
away in a year. Yeah, sorry for feeling it.
I mean,
it's going to go away in a year.
I feel like they only added it to say, haha, we told you so. No one actually wants this. Like, stop complaining. No one used it.
Well, Danny wanted it.
But again, like, why wouldn't you make something that can help your users? This is what, like, sometimes I don't need an AI overview of what CRM software is. I just want to see some links that can get me to CRM software. I don't need videos about CRM software. I'm just looking for ways to get me a company that provides the service. And they always do these like product websites and location websites and all this dumb stuff. Like, I love this, and I love the fact that Danny, I'm sure he spearheaded this, and that we have it. And it's something I will be using, and I hope that they make it again more prominent than things like forums and stuff like that. But I like the options that you can give people.
I do agree. I like the options, but we've seen with options with Google, people just don't use them. And Google tracks what people use and what don't use, and eventually just get rid of these options. They've been getting rid of a bunch of search tools over the years, many. They've been dropping in and out those filters. We'll see if people use it. I think it's great. I personally I would love it, but I just don't believe it's going to be there for the long term.
I agree. You're not voted, Finn.
Right.
I still love it. I'm gonna use it nonstop until it goes away.
I want you to share screenshots of every single search result you ever do in the future from now on Twitter.
Your X is about to get blown up.
There we go. On that, thank you so much for doing this rant with me, or whatever we want to call it. We're not calling it the SEO rant because that's copyrighted and trademarked
by a very smart individual.
Wait, hang on. I'm getting a trademark right now for the AI rant. 1 second.
We will hold on for that. In any event, thank you guys so much, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.